Jason, a famous singer, became well known and loved by both old and young for his catchy songs and good looks. He always dreamed of writing and singing songs for people to enjoy. Although he had achieved his dream of singing, he wasn't happy. He was once seen just talking to a girl who was just his friend. However, when someone secretly snapped a photo and shared it online, both Jason and the girl faced a barrage of hate comments for simply spending time together as ordinary people. Following this incident, his company prohibited him from interacting or dating anyone unless that person was well known like him. Loneliness crept into Jason's life as friends gradually distanced themselves, and within his industry, the perception that his success stemmed solely from his good looks, not talent, left him isolated. Doubts about his own singing abilities started to nag at Jason. Draped in a hoodie and a mask to avoid recognition, Jason strolled down the street. To his surprise, someone called out his name. Assuming it was a fan, he quickened his pace to evade them. But the persistent person continued to follow, repeatedly calling out to him. Reluctantly turning towards the person, Jason assumed they were just another fan seeking a photo or autograph. To his surprise, the individual gave him an odd look and responded, "I only wanted to return your wallet that fell." Curious, Jason inquired if the person didn't recognize him at all, and the individual asked if he was supposed to know Jason. Confused, Jason questioned how the person knew his name, and the response was that he accidentally saw Jason's ID and then left. For the first time, Jason encountered someone oblivious to his fame and completely unfazed by it. Jason had a special garden on the roof of an old building. He took care of the plants there and liked to sit and think. It was his secret place, and he wrote many of his songs there. He went to his secret spot one day and found someone sitting there. Wondering if it was a stalker fan or a reporter stalking him, he approached the person and realized it was the wallet guy. Jason asked him what he was doing there, and the wallet guy responded, "I should be the one asking you this question, because this is my secret spot and nobody comes here." Jason replied that it's his secret spot, mentioning that he grew all the plants and flowers there. The wallet guy then remarked that no wonder the plants were always fresh, expressing his curiosity about how they thrived in an abandoned place. He then said Jason can have his secret spot then, and was about to leave when Jason stopped him and asked him to stay. They both sat and introduced themselves. Wallet guy introduced himself as Asher. They spoke for a long time, and Jason found out Asher doesn't use social media. That explains why he didn't know Jason. Jason was thrilled to have met someone with whom he could have genuine conversations, and was eager to spend more time with Asher. After that day, Jason always hoped to visit the secret spot and meet Asher again, but his packed schedule left him with little free time. He couldn't ask for Asher's number the first day due to his manager checking his phone to know if he was following the rules. Determined, Jason decided to buy a new secret phone, ensuring he wouldn't miss the chance to get Asher's contact the next time they met. Jason, desperate to meet Asher again, intentionally fell during practice, breaking his leg in the hope of getting time off work. His plan succeeded, and he was asked to rest until his leg recovered. Although he questioned why he went to such lengths just to see Asher again. Perhaps it was because he was desperate to find someone to share his thoughts with and seek comfort, and Asher seemed to be that person. His broken leg didn't stop him from going to the secret spot. Luckily, he didn't have to wait long, as Asher was already seated there when he arrived. Sitting beside Asher, he jokingly remarked, "I guess falling and breaking my leg on purpose wasn't a bad idea after all." Asher, surprised, asked, "Why would you fall and break your leg on purpose?" Jason replied, "Because I wanted to see you." Asher asked if Jason couldn't see him without having to fall and hurt himself on purpose. Jason replied that it was the only way because his schedules were packed, and he didn't have any free time for himself. Typically, he didn't mind because he had no life outside of work, but this time it's different. Asher questioned Jason if he was worth breaking a leg for, since they had only met twice. Jason cheekily replied that they may have only met twice, but he already feels a connection between them, and Asher laughed. They both shared their life stories. Jason opened up to Asher about his loneliness and unhappiness, even though he was pursuing his dream. He confessed to feeling like quitting at times, uncertain if he truly had the talent for singing. Asher assured Jason that he indeed had the talent for singing, or he wouldn't have come this far. He promised to be Jason's friend and stand by him, regardless of any backlash from fans. As Asher didn't use social media, he wouldn't even know when they criticized him. Feeling emotional, Jason hugged Asher and thanked him, taking the opportunity to ask for Asher's phone number with his new secret phone. As days and weeks passed, Asher and Jason continued to meet at the secret spot. They texted and called each other frequently, becoming more comfortable with each passing day. Although Jason started developing feelings for Asher, he hesitated to act on them, fearing that a relationship with Asher might lead to public problems. And he didn't want Asher to get caught up in any mess. Jason tried to hide his feelings for Asher, but anytime he saw Asher, he just felt like blurting out his feelings for him. He even composed a song specifically for Asher, pouring his feelings into the lyrics. When he sang the song to Asher, he fell in love with Jason's voice and immediately declared himself Jason's #1 fan. However, Asher remained oblivious to the hidden message in the lyrics, thinking it was just another one of Jason's regular songs. One day, as they sat at their secret spot, Jason couldn't help but focus on Asher's lips. He eventually asked, "Did you change your lip balm?" Asher, surprised, questioned how Jason noticed, to which Jason responded, "I notice everything about you." Jason then asked if he could borrow some of Asher's lip balm. Asher was about to hand Jason the lip balm when Jason surprised him by placing his lips on Asher's and rubbing the lip balm onto his own lips. Jason got carried away and the rubbing of lips turned into a kiss, with Asher kissing back. After a few seconds, Jason, realizing what was happening, pulled back and apologized to Asher. However, Asher reassured Jason, saying there was no need to apologize because he had also kissed back willingly. That night, their texts took on a flirtatious tone, but Jason was aware that he couldn't take things further. The next morning, Jason woke up to numerous missed calls and messages from his manager. Upon returning the call, his manager angrily instructed him to check what was happening on social media. To his shock, Jason discovered a picture of him and Asher kissing from the previous day, accompanied by a barrage of hate comments directed at Asher, despite both of them being in the picture. He promptly called Asher to check if he was alright, but Asher feigned ignorance about the situation. Jason, believing Asher, felt relieved that at least Asher, who avoided social media, was unaffected by the online turmoil. Asher, in fact, had recently started using social media to keep up with Jason, viewing his pictures and watching his concerts and everything about him. That morning, he received numerous threatening letters warning him to stay away from Jason. However, Asher remained undeterred, keeping his promise to Jason that he would stand by his side and not let these challenges affect them. Their secret spot was no longer a haven, now exposed to the public. Meeting there became impossible, and they had to settle for calls and texts. Jason's manager even prohibited him from going outside alone. Jason and Asher were both doing fine texting and calling, but suddenly Asher stopped replying to texts and not answering calls. He even changed his number. Jason experienced a deep sense of heartbreak. The one who had been his source of joy and vitality, the person who stood by his side, was now absent from his life, leaving him feeling empty inside once again. Asher chose to distance himself from Jason out of concern for his daughter, Linda. Threatening letters accompanied by pictures of Linda at school covered in red paint left him deeply worried for her safety. Despite being willing to face threats directed at himself, the safety of his daughter became his top priority. Asher became a single father in high school when Linda's mother left the country after giving birth, leaving Linda in Asher's care. Since then, it had been just the two of them, and Asher cherished and adored his daughter. Linda was the best thing that had ever happened to him. Asher harbored feelings for Jason, a secret he kept to himself because he wasn't certain how Jason would react to the revelation that he was a single father. However, his priority was always his daughter, and to protect her, he chose to stay away from Jason while constantly thinking about him and hoping for his well-being. Discovering the reason behind Asher's sudden disappearance, Jason came across pictures of Asher and his daughter and malicious stories online, where people were spreading vile tales about how Asher had his daughter. Furious at the invasion of Asher's privacy and the harm caused to an innocent child, he realized the extent to which fans had crossed the line. Jason felt helpless as he lacked any means to contact Asher and ensure he was okay. He decided it might be best to respect Asher's desire for distance. Jason's big concert was coming up, and although he wanted to cancel it, he couldn't, because all the tickets had been sold to thousands of people. During the concert, Jason halted his performance and declared, "I have an important announcement to make. This will be my last time performing because I'm quitting. While writing songs and singing to people has always been my dream, achieving it has left me feeling unhappy and empty inside. This is not the life I envisioned. I can't go anywhere or talk to anyone and make friends like a normal person. I always have to be careful of what I say, who I interact with, where I go, what I eat. Why do you all get to do whatever you want, but I can't? Am I not human like you? How do you all sleep after writing hurtful comments about the people I love, pushing them away and leaving me alone? I love you all as much as you love me and my music, but I can't live this life anymore." The fans listened with tears in their eyes. Some went online, deleting any negative posts or comments they had ever made. Jason continued, "The last song I'm going to sing on stage is a song I wrote for the person I had fallen in love with and made me feel alive. Although I had already sung this song to him, he didn't know it was expressing my feelings for him. I'm going to sing this song again, even though he probably isn't watching this concert right now and might never know I wrote this song for him and the meaning behind it." He sang the song with tears rolling down his cheeks. After he finished singing the song, a fan shouted, "Go get your man." Jason chuckled with teary eyes and responded that he wished he could, but he didn't even know where Asher lived. Another fan threw a paper on stage which had Asher's address and shouted, "Go get him." Everyone started cheering and shouting out loud to Jason to go get his man. Jason smiled and ran from the stage, heading out to Asher's house. All this while, Asher was watching Jason's concert from home and was now eagerly waiting for Jason to show up at his door. Not long after, Asher heard a knock on his door. He immediately rushed to open it, because he knew who it was. There stood Jason, who hugged Asher the moment he opened the door. "I missed you," Jason confessed, to which Asher replied, "I missed you too." Asher then revealed he had watched everything. Jason, unable to contain his emotions, blurted out, "I love you. I can't hold it in anymore." Asher responded, "But I am a single dad. Are you okay with that?" Jason replied, "Why wouldn't I be okay with that? I love you and everything about you. I would be glad to have your daughter as my daughter too, and I will love her as much as you do." Asher looked at Jason with tears in his eyes and said, "I love you too." He then kissed Jason, and they both shared a passionate kiss. However, just then, Linda came out of her room and shouted Jason's name in excitement, startling both Asher and Jason, causing them to pull away from their hungry kiss. Linda approached Jason with a hug, expressing her admiration as a fan. Asher, surprised, asked Linda how she knew Jason, and Linda replied, "You know nothing, Dad," shaking her head. Taking the opportunity, Jason asked Linda, "Would you accept me if I asked to be your second dad?" Linda nodded her head excitedly in agreement, then hugged Jason again, with him hugging back, also beaming with excitement. Jason pulled Asher into the hug too, and they all had a group hug. Jason and Asher's relationship grew stronger and stronger each passing day. Asher received lovely letters from Jason's fans every day to make up for the hurtful ones they sent to him before and apologized to both Asher and Jason. They all supported Jason's decision. Jason found a way to stay connected to music by writing songs for other singers. Hearing his compositions being performed and appreciated by others brought him a sense of fulfillment and joy. Jason embraced the newfound freedom that came with leaving the spotlight. He enjoyed strolling the streets without the need for a mask. and going on carefree dates with Asher, experiencing life without the constant fear of judgment or backlash. He was finally living again,